Alright guys, this is William, and it's not my normal kind of news video. Yes, it's about the news, but it's about deeper implications, okay? So, people have been upset with China pretty much since it came to power in its modern age. I consider its modern age anything post 1980, and it's like Western modern age anything post 2008 Olympics. That's when everything started changing to be more Western in China. So what happened here is that China bans the BBC from broadcasting within their country. And why they did this is because BBC is making some unsubstantiated claims from Xinjiang. Xinjiang, I think how English speakers call it, Xinjiang, is the Muslim area of China in the far west, basically near Kazakhstan. It's where all the Uyghurs, the Uyghur people live. And there's a lot of mystery what goes on in there. But what we do know for sure is that they are heavily Muslim and that they have been in trouble for terrorist actions in the past. That's what we know for a fact. But the West often says like there's concentration camps, there's brainwashing, there's re-education camps. And I personally have lived in China 7 years, and I don't believe that to be true at all. I know people in the government, I know some upper people because I live in Beijing, I teach people's children, I have a few connections, and I don't think anyone would do that. But what I do know for a fact is that America and the West hates competition. They cannot stand competition. In America, we always say, like, oh, competition is great, it breeds success. We mean that for other people and not for us. It's definitely a double standard. We don't want to compete with people. That's why we're always blocking, like, Huawei phones. And guys, Huawei phones are better than Apple in many, many regards. For one, battery life. Don't get me started on Apple. I hate Apple nowadays. But guys, what I want to say here is that the stuff happening in Xinjiang, no one knows, and therefore it's unsubstantiated. BBC had a story with some Xinjiang girl saying that she handcuffed people to beds so that people could do things with female prisoners. And that is not 100% substantiated. We don't know if that actually happened. And guys, why am I so skeptical, you might be asking? It's because if you've read history and just spent some time online in, university, textbooks, things like that, you know that the CIA is extremely, extremely sketchy. And I'm not talking about conspiracy theories here. I'll show you guys some actual things, okay? So, back when Indonesia was kind of an important geopolitical place back during the Cold War. It was kind of like Russia and America fighting for their influence because they do hold pretty strategic positions. And America likes to be in the Pacific, right? So we can keep an eye on people. So, guys, we both tried to blackmail the KGB and the CIA, Western powers, both tried to blackmail the president of Indonesia. Now, guys, why did we want to blackmail him, America and the Russians? It's because we wanted them on our side. So guys, whenever there's like a leader that has like interests that don't align with America, we try to interfere with their elections. We do that in South America all the time. We try to assassinate their leaders and put in our own person. We do that all the time. So this is factual. You guys can look this up for yourself. JFK was actually considering a full-scale paramilitary operation to get out the president of Indonesia that was friendly with the Russians. Okay? And he also tried to interfere with their elections. Right here, by 1962, the British Prime Minister and JFK agreed to liquidate President Sukarno depending on the situation and available opportunities. Guys, that just means if they could, if they were able, they were going to liquidate, maybe kill, maybe arrest, maybe get rid of the leader. So guys, the reason that I'm skeptical about this is one, the West, America, does not like competition. And two, the CIA has documented many sketchy things like this before. And it's only after like 50 years when these things are finally declassified, so people just wouldn't care. But guys, if you stitch the story together enough, you'll see a path. You'll see like a history of like, okay, they do these things, so therefore maybe this is true. Therefore maybe this is true. So guys, China is just preserving its own interests. And I think every country should preserve their own interests. The West is trying to take them down by calling them like concentration camps and that they're genociding people. And I don't really think that's true at all. Again, this is just my ideas and what I know from living in China and what I know from knowing what I know about the CIA and reading all these interesting things. So, again, guys, this is my defense of China. Would I like freedom of speech to prevail? Yes. Is it necessarily the best for every country on earth? No. Some places can't really get along with things like that. They're not up to that level yet. And guys, who's to say that freedom of speech is better when you can just lie about anything? I mean, there was an article about Donald Trump in The Atlantic, and it was from an unnamed source that said he was laughing at dead veterans. And guess what? That came up like 30 days before an election. Why would they say that 30 days before an election? It's election interference. All of these things are just for destabilizing people, for destabilizing China, because America does not like competition. And guys, if you look more at the history of China, they've never started a war with anyone that was not China. Like maybe like 5,000 years ago, they ventured into Vietnam or Thailand or something. But in this modern history, modern meaning like 400 years, they've never done any acts of aggression on anyone. And I know this from history and from speaking with the people. Because like there was a point when America and China were fighting in Korea. And from their perspective, they thought if the Americans took Korea, they would have just marched through China up to Beijing and taken the whole country. And I've talked to older American people, I've talked to older Chinese people, and they were like, yeah, that's pretty much what they were going to do. So, guys, China is a very peaceful nation, and honestly, they're not dangerous at all to anyone, except for maybe economic dominance. Yes, they love buying up property in Canada and Asia and America. Maybe we should have some things in place that stop non citizens from buying 20 houses, but that's our issue. It's not theirs. They're simply doing what they can do within the rules to buy properties and buy houses to be healthy and successful and take care of their children, which Chinese people do much better than Americans. Maybe not emotionally, but definitely financially. Anyways, guys, you're all gonna call me some kind of spy. You're gonna think I'm in like some detention facility, but I'm not. I'm free. And this is just my ideas. In defense of China, the CIA does really bad things, the West doesn't like competition, and they will do anything to destabilize China. Also, Taiwan and Hong Kong are China.